Oh yeah.
Okay. So before you get to New York, you're
So
going after
before I get to New York, I'm doing everything in my power to try to make a go of this without leaving Pittsburgh. And I had so many irons in the fire. I was working with this person. I was working with that person.
You're doing the mall tour.
Yeah, I was gonna sign this with this person, but at the end of the day, everything dried up, and it had been. I hit a wall after wall after wall. I mean, right out of high school, I was offered a deal with Motown.
Oh wow.
With the Gordy Company. And that didn't work out.
Wow.
And ever since then, it was just, hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait.
So when you were doing that, were you buying like, were you?
Oh my God.
You were a big dance fan.
Listen, I bought everything. I read the liner notes. I smelled the CDs. I touched them. They were gold to me. I knew who everybody was. I knew who Kevin Williams was at Nervous Records. I knew who Ultra and Anaya and Daryl and Sandy B and Tracy Thorn. I knew who all the people were, and I knew who their producers were, and I knew who Pizarro was. So I'm sending all these demos. I'm like, Pizarro. I'm like, why doesn't he put his last name? Well, I didn't hear anything, but years later, I find out that Pizarro is Gladys Pizarro, one of the founders of Strictly Rhythm. So I saw her in Amsterdam a few years ago, and I told her this story. I said, I used to send you demos. I had no idea who you were. And here I am in the streets of Amsterdam, just, exchanging pleasantries. I said, this is like a crazy moment for me.
So, Joe, I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's all right.
You were on that place where you're going about getting to my life, but I wanted to ask that thing about, but thank you.
Yes.
That is a phenomenal story.
I bought everything. I wanted to touch everything. I special ordered Joy Cardwell's album from National Record Mart in Pittsburgh because they didn't carry it. So I just went in and said, I want this. How do I get it? And they ordered it from New York for me. I would go and I would find the imports, like the Madonna import remix CDs that were from the UK, the Renaissance dance collections, the Global Undergrounds. I had it all. And to get back, so I go to Connecticut and I meet Joe Carano, lovely man, uber talented, insane. And
Who is he again?
Joe Carano, he was at that time, he was Junior Vasquez's main programmer, doing all the fierce mixes with him. And I go to Connecticut, and over the course of a year, we record My Life. And it took a year because he would fit me in whenever he could. And, he was doing all of these mixes for Junior and working with all these people, and his schedule was so tight that I would go when he had time for me. And finally, in 2003, the song was finished. And I remember I was at his studio. I slept in one of the nooks while he finished it. And I caught the Metro North to come home at because I missed the last train. So I slept in a nook, and he worked all night to finish the song. And he said, I'm gonna submit it. I'm gonna send it to the office. Okay, great. Let me know what you hear. Well, on a winter night, he called me and he said they want it. So I was like, for real? they want it. Yeah, the guy that runs the label, Jerome Farley, he's gonna call you. I said, okay. And I waited to hear.
Did you stare at the phone for like?
I did. I did. I was glued to the phone, waiting for this call, and it took a little time. It took some time, and I didn't realize what world I was entering and how much was going on, and it made me realize how lucky, like, this was the chance. So I had a manager at the time. Her name was Arlene, and we got a call from the office that they wanted to meet me. They wanted me to come in, and they wanted to talk strategy for the single. And Jerome was going to be there. Junior was going to be there. Bobby Shaw was going to be there. And Kevin Williams was going to be there. Now, I knew who everyone was because, like I said, I read the liner notes when there were liner notes to read. So I was super nervous, but super excited because if they were calling me in the office, then this was really fucking going to happen. So Arlene and I, we get to the JVM offices and the doors open and we walk up the stairs and I'm like shaking in my boots. And we get...
Are you hearing... like you're hearing AIDS?
Yeah, it was like the Red Sea was parting and I'm walking up these stairs and we round the corner and there's Jerome. Now, I thought Jerome was a black man. Because that's a black man's name. It just is. But he was not. He looked like a doctor. And he actually has a PhD, so technically he is a doctor. But he looked like a doctor. He was a shorter, very cute, svelte, white dude. He's like, hi, I'm Jerome. I'm like, it's so nice to meet you. So I go in, and there's Bobby, and there's Kevin, and there's Junior. I'm in the room with El Maestro. It's very intimate. The walls of the JVM offices are just all vinyl records. And I'm not talking about vinyl, like, I'm talking about stacks of vinyl records. There had to be 10,000 records in there. Every wall had cases and they were just all vinyl. And I'm just, there's gold records on the wall. I'm soaking all of this up and I'm trying to keep my composure. And we sit down and they start talking strategy. They're talking about promotions and, project publicity and Len Evans and Jeff Dorda, and they're talking about Billboard promotion and, they're going to get this person to remix. And there were only a couple, not like pre-COVID 2019, there's 16 mixes to one song. There were just three remixes to My Life. And then it was off to the races. I had my first show with Junior. It was the Red Party in 2004 at Sound Factory. And I went on, it had to be 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and the party had been going all night. Deborah Cox was the featured performer. She was the main act. And child, her limo pulled up. They handed her a mic. She walked out of the limo. She walked on stage. She did her thing. I heard it all downstairs. And then she walked back out and left. Because I believe at the time she was in Aida on Broadway. And I was downstairs in a room waiting to go on. I waited for hours. And finally it was time. And the place was still packed. And Kevin Aviance introduced me. And I'm a big Kevin Aviance fan. And I have been since the beginning. I wish I knew him better. We have mutual friends, and when we see each other, it's super cool. But he's just like a force of nature, and he introduced me, and they had me in an outfit that was very reserved, because I think they wanted like a middle of the road image, and I was unnerved because I had gotten a really bad haircut. And I was just nervous about that. I had to have it fixed. But I do the show, and it's great, and the song's getting played, and then it's time for the Winter Music Conference, and the song's bubbling, and it's starting to get press, and then it hits the charts, which is just unbelievable because I never thought that would happen to me. And over the following weeks, I just watch it climb. It's in the top 40, it's in the top 20, and then it's in the top 10, and then it's number 3. And I said, this actually has a chance, but I'm happy where it is. But the label wants number 1. Well,
wait. You're number 3.
Beyonce's number 2.
Okay, I just want to make sure
Beyonce's number 2. I'm number 3. I'm in very good company. I mean, the best company that I could possibly be in. So, needless to say, I didn't go to number 1. And I was fine with that. If Beyonce is going to be the reason that my record didn't go to number 1, God damn it, I'm okay with that. So I'm starting to do shows, and the label they want another record. So I was like, oh, fuck, this is crazy. And so I go, and Jerome says, you're going to do a song called Foolish Mind Games, and you're going to go to Hani's studio and record it. Now, I know who Hani is. I'm a Hani fan, especially of his remixes for Lisa Stansfield. So I'm super nervous. The song's a killer song. The track's fucking incredible. And Hani's studio it's near Port, or it was near Port Authority at that time. So my manager, Arlene, and I go, and I'm really nervous because I'm working with him, and this whole world is still so new and scary and amazing to me. So I record the song, and no sooner do I record it, boom, it's out for promotion. It's being played. There's only 2 mixes. It's the power pick. It's in the top 20. It's number 10. And then Mike Cruz unleashes his tribal mix, and that breathed a whole new life into it. And before I knew it, in the next couple of weeks, it went to number 1. And I was actually working at Bluefin, and I was in the bathroom when Bobby Shaw called me. I got pee on my apron. I had to pretend that I spilled water. My tables went to shit in my section. I was screaming and yelling, and I was calling this person and calling that person, all from the bathroom. And then I started to do shows because I had some visibility, and I was performing with Junior in New York. I was getting press when they had HX and Next in New York. My Life won the HX Song of the Year.
Oh wow.
Because so many people voted for it, and it was the first. What was it? How did they say it? It was the first non-pop record to win.
Wow.
So Junior and I went to the awards thing. It was such a great ride, and I started to perform a lot. I was in a different place every weekend, either with him or by myself.
But you're still.
Oh, I was still working at the restaurant.
Are you busting those tables?
Oh yeah, no, I was waiting those tables, bitch.
Waiting those tables.
Oh yeah, but they were really cool with me, and they knew what I was doing. They knew what was happening, and they were like, "You got to sing, go. You're all good." So they were very, very, very good to me.